I am going to make a tier list of Metroid games. This tier list is based on my personal opinion how I feel about these games. I look into how good gameplay is, how good is music, how is atmosphere, and of course, how is story. I hope you will enjoy. So here are Metroid games that are in release order. Let's make a tier list out of them. Okay, the very first Metroid game, Metroid 1 for NES. I did play it. I don't remember actually beating any boss. It only had Clyde and Ridley. It's a classic, but just really outdated. I feel it's at the bottom. Kinda like a C tier. Same goes with the Return of Samus, the sequel that's for a Game Boy. It's also the same feeling I have. It hasn't aged at all. I never played it though. I did play remakes though. I feel like Metroid 2 is also the same like Metroid Nestroid is. Alright, Super Metroid. Oh yeah, like there's no contest about Super Metroid being like one of the GOAT Metroid games ever made. It may have not aged well in graphics or gameplay because it feels kinda hard. Super Metroid sucks to control. Yeah, it's not easy to control, but it really feels really good game when you know how to control Samus. It's hard though, and it's really hard to speedrun. But I think it's a really amazing game still. If there's ever gonna be a remake, I would expect Mercury's team to be able to do that with Metroid Dread engine. Now it's time for Metroid Fusion, Metroid 4. I played this for the first time just before Metroid Dread released. And I like the horror elements in that. And it felt a little different from what I'm used to for a Metroid game, I guess. The lore of that game, you're in a space station and finding out about the X-Parasite and eventually a Metroids in a secret lab. I don't think it's an S+, but I think it's an S tier for sure. There's no way it can be in an A. It is a solid Metroid game. Fusion lore, S+ tier. Gameplay, A, because linearity is sadly removing some of the fun. Yeah, that's a true point. Metroid Fusion is very linear. There are no sequence breaks whatsoever. You cannot beat the game by collecting items in an unintended order. That's not possible in that game. But there is even more amazing games, such as Metroid Prime. Personally, I'll put it over Super Metroid. I love Metroid Prime. So Metroid Prime is a very special game to me. When it came out, it was just a really good game to play. And it still holds to today's standards. The game is 20 years old, and it looks like it's still made in like 10 years ago or something, or even 5 years ago, if I'm gonna be honest. It hasn't aged at all, it feels like. Casually, only nitpick you have is that artifact hunting feels like added fluff, but otherwise almost anything else is really good. Yeah, it has really good atmosphere, really good music. Like, yeah, artifact hunting, there's 12 artifacts you have to collect in order to beat the game. It sucks to run around and so on to find them. It's a Metroid game, so it has some backtracking to go here after you get this upgrade, then come back here to get with this upgrade you just had. Fortunately, Metroid Prime has sequence breaks. The most famous one is early space jump boots from the very start of the game when you get to Talon Overworld. Metroid Zero Mission is a remake version of Nestroid. It has sequence breaks, which I kinda liked when I played it. That there are intended sequence breaks by the developers. How can I say this? It's a Nestroid game. It tells you where to go, but it doesn't tell you how to get there. Which I do like that it tells you that, you wanna go here. Like in Metroid Prime it did that too. There is a hint system. I like that it doesn't tell you how to get there. That's what I like about Metroid games. I did like Zero Mission's ending sequence, that it's a little expanded with the Zero Suit Samus section. Then getting a fully powered suit. But where I will put that in a list, I don't think... for me it's between A and B. I feel like it's more of an A tier than B. You'll rather put it in A because it's relatively faithful in Metroid 1, but it brought out the best elements of it. Yeah, It's faithful to the original still, so that's a good point to put it on an A tier. Alright, Metroid Prime 2. This is honestly a tough call for me because I feel I like Metroid Prime 2 more than Metroid Prime 1. You know, like its gameplay, areas, but music's... I feel Metroid Prime music was better than Metroid Prime 2's. Hot take, 8 tier max. Dark Light words are boring game design. It can be, yeah, because you just copy and paste Light World to a Dark World and you just change the textures. True, I can see that point. I don't know. Maybe it is a S tier. Is it above Fusion though? I feel it's above Fusion. Okay, let's move on to Metroid Prime Hunters. I need a little help from you, chat. How would you rank Metroid Prime Hunters? I have not played it. Multiplayer is A, single player B or C. Okay. Hunters was alright. Good DS game, but not the greatest. From the sound of it, it might be like... it sounds like a B tier. Fights are kinda A. So it has a lot of flaws. It's a DS game, so... it's running on some limitations. Let's move on to the last Metroid Prime game. The trilogy's Corruption is solid A. Yeah, I don't think it's a B tier. I don't think it's an S tier either. Music was amazing. Love the RS. Everyone agrees that Elusia is like one of the best RS in the Metroid series, but then again, yeah, it's a beautiful city. It's a mazy city. Hyper mode removes difficulty, so if you care about challenge, Prime 3 really doesn't have it. Yeah. Hyper mode is just essentially just a button that you press to win. You didn't care about new characters at all. Yeah, and nobody like even remembers Hunters. I even forgot their name from the time when I tried to think about them. DS Hunters characters were a cooler design. You enjoyed for Dark Samus more than anything else. Yeah. Yeah, so from the sound of it, I think we can agree, chat, that it's an A tier game. Now comes the game that everyone hates. Or some people like. I personally enjoyed playing Other M. However, I don't want to play it again. I feel it's just the kind of a game that... man... Still on Copium? Yeah. Freaking wall. You have to bomb. And not missile? Yeah, sure. It doesn't have any memorable music. Other than just the Ridley fight music. And that's it. I don't remember any other music in that game because I didn't get to hear it much. The point to the TV and Wind Faldo, like, dude, screw that, man. There were just I feel there were just too many flaws in the storytelling. I just didn't care too much about it. It's not a B tier game. No, it's not a B tier game. It's a C tier to me. Yeah, let's just put it above Nestroid. Okay. Chat. So how many of you played Metroid Prime Federation? I've not played it. And I don't think I want to play it either. You've seen zero reason to play it yourself. It's just Hunters but worse. Would you say it's a kind of game that maybe I should play it once? Then just never again? Or is it like a don't touch it type of game? You would say no. Okay, so that sounds like a G tier then. That's a garbage. G tier is garbage, okay? Well, time to move on to Metroid Remake. Metroid Samus Returns. I liked playing it. It had an okay world. I think it was a little bit too big, don't you think? 40 Metroids, just like in the original, had to hunt, and there was that one Metroid variant I didn't like fighting against. It's the one after the very first Metroid one. B tier above Hunters. Yeah, I agree too. It had a couple of fun moments when I played it. I liked the end game boss fight. It was challenging. I felt the game was too big. I think they expanded it too much from the original, even though I've never played the original. Time to finish this off with the newly released Metroid game, Metroid Dread. At the release, when I played it, I was like thinking this is my favorite Metroid game, but now when I've replayed it, I don't think it is. I did like the areas, like what they look like, because the background You can actually see the background details. It's really nice. I like it. The music is only really issue with Dread, but S for sure. Yeah, it's an S tier game. Metroid Dread's countering is so much better and more upgraded than it was in Samus Returns. You can do it standing. You can do it from hanging off the edge. You can do a dash melee. You can do it all from Morph Ball too. Like, there's so many ways you can do. It's really good how they made it better for that game. It is an A tier. It's an S tier game. This is from Nintendo Life, best Metroid games of all time. Let's check out this list as well when we are checking out this list, okay? Federation Wars, yeah, that's gonna make sense that Federation Wars is there. Because it kinda deserves it. Metroid Prime Hunters, Atheram at the bottom too. Yeah, makes sense. Review 9 out of 10. Okay, anyone wanna explain this to me? Who reviewed this as 9 out of 10? Hello? What is that? Yeah, Metroid 2 and Metroid at the next to each other. Yeah, makes sense. Samus Returns. Huh. That's kinda low in the list, I feel like. I think this should have been higher for them, but yeah, everyone has their own opinion. Metroid Fusion over Echoes. Yeah, it's kinda close, hey? I mean, Zero Mission is 5th. Ooh. I put Zero Mission below Prime games. Metroid Dread 4th. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's up there. It's in the top 5. Metroid Prime is 3rd. This one I'm surprised. I would have expected this to be 2nd. Super Metroid is number 1. Okay, yeah. I mean, why is Trilogy first then? Solid Metroid tier list, hey. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give a like, subscribe to YouTube. You know what to do. And see you in the next video. No. Yeah, screw you, man.